Hello, how would you like the idea of amazing AI for free? And let me tell you, as a verified Claude addict, it can cost some money. So, we can get an API key from Google AI Studio. It has kind of two versions that are relevant for us. The Gemini 2 Flash Experimental, which is fast and also a lot more lenient with the tokens. And we also have Gemini Experimental 1206, which is presumably gonna be the pro version of it, but it is more restricted. But let's just jump to... By the way, you can just chat with it constantly, but the most important part, that we can use it inside an IDE. So, we can code with it. Anyway, we care about coding here, nothing else. If you're just considering other variables, then I guess it doesn't matter. Right, so Claude is dominating. Good to see, but also Claude, oh my god, you're so greedy. So then comes Gemini Experimental 1206, so which is close. But they might not be trained on the same kind of code, so something to keep in mind. Then we got O1, which is kind of ridiculous. But this is the heavy hitter, and it's already like very much behind. So yeah, I remember the comment of OpenAI was like, "Oh my god, don't even try to make AIs. We got this. You guys just sit back." And now they're like the biggest boy that's cost like 200 is barely third. Anyway, we got the old Claude again. But anyway, we got this Gemini 2 Flash, which is at least fast, right? It is not as impressive when it comes to coding skills. But the best way to use this is to use Gemini, the 1206, for the heavy hitting things, and use Flash for maybe like quicker stuff. But also keep in mind, 54 is still pretty dang impressive. There's everything else, even O1 Preview. It beats O1 Preview, and it's also fast. But if you just want to chat with it, then you absolutely can. So when it comes to reasoning, right? So we got O1s kind of dominating, but also the Gemini is good. Like both Geminis are good. So you can just talk to Geminis constantly, and that's fine. But I'm gonna show how to use it inside your IDE. And I think we're gonna do a VXT project, because it is something that not a lot of people do, I guess. And also it could be a good test for Gemini. So here we go. Bunex. Let's go. Yeah, it's gonna be called... I'm thinking of a project of some kind of a social media breaker. I'm thinking calling it a de-addict, right? And it's gonna be using operant conditioning, kind of, to make you dislike social media over time. And why the current approaches don't seem to work is that people want to be basically cured cold turkey, and that doesn't work. What we want to be doing is that for every single day you visit social media sites, the certain social media sites, then it's gonna load 1 second slower. 1 second slower, that's it. I'm keeping this simple. 1 second slower, and give it like 10 days, it's gonna be 10 seconds slower, right? And if you don't visit it, then it's gonna go down by 1 second. So the thing is, I'm not punishing here. The thing is, if you sometimes visit it, then it's fine. If you visit it all the time, then I guess you probably gotta uninstall the extension. But who knows? Maybe people are just gonna learn to control their habits. So we're gonna call it de-addict. All right. We're gonna use React Bun Experimental. Bun is fast. CDD. Okay. Okay, we can run a bunny. Then we can run code here. Just so you can say that I haven't shown you the early steps. So, we are in. And in here, we're gonna look for the client extensions. Right, so we got two versions. We got the regular client and we got Rue client. I think they have icons too. Yeah, they do. It doesn't matter. So the only difference between them, what we need to do is just install them both. I like to just suggest that you just put them on the right side, and you can just add your Gemini key and you can just use your model. So one could be a good idea is that you use one with Flash and the other with Wind, the Gemini experimental, and the only other difference between them is that, yeah, Rookline might have more options, and the only difference is that Klein is more conservative. Rookline is just insane. So you can enable these high risk options, which I would really advise. It would only really make sense if you're just completely hands off. If you wrote some kind of project specifications and you're kind of like hoping that AI gets it all right. So basically, it's completely automated. But you better have some good specs. Anyway, I would also suggest writing a text spec and init markdown file, I suppose. I tried to make like full-on project files, but it was just a mess. It was just a mess because like coding is like step by step. And if you write a whole project file, then well, like a project guidance file, I suppose, then AI will try to implement it all. And it's gonna be a nightmare to try to debug it. Because they got it wrong like in 200 places. And like, okay, let's go. I told Gemini to set up based on the text spec and init file. Right? Sure. So have we made it? I would highly recommend checking what AI does. Else you're probably gonna go into circles, waste hours. Okay, are we gonna be overriding it? I'll just see how smart it is. Okay. If it was a very dumb AI, then it would just override my Tailwind with only this. So, nice. Okay, so the setup is complete. We are ready to go. Okay, make an input component in the components folder, which is displayed on the pop-up FTSX. Okay, I'm gonna go slow here. We also need to deal with the backend. Okay. Right. Sure. We probably should be throwing in on change. Yeah, this is fine. And maybe we're gonna go after the FTSX too. Yeah, we are overriding it. Sure. And maybe we should be bond deving here. Right. Okay. Well, we kept the default look, which is not great. Otherwise, we imported. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell him to do that. Would be no point. Okay, so now we have an input text and nothing else. You're really not missing much here. Okay, so we need a way on the back end. We need an add button, of course. We need to deal with the back end. We need to initialize a sync store where we store a list of domains along with dates, I think. I'm not sure if this is clear or if my logic is the best. We need to initialize a store where we store a list of domains with an array of dates. Okay. No. Wrong. Incorporate it into the background TS. No separate file. So we are deleting the source store TS here. Okay. We're still fucking it up. No. Oh my god. That's a wrong again. Reject. Don't say that I'm not a fair judge here. Okay. Is the logic fine otherwise? Domain data. So we got a storage key. Domain data. Seems okay. Okay, I'm gonna just tell him that all should be included in the define background default function. So we can correct it. Because seemingly his functions were fine, but okay. The thing is, this is essentially the backend. If you're familiar with servers, this is essentially the backend, and this is what our extension will be, well, essentially, well, be communicating with. Okay. Domain data. So we got domain as a string, and it also is, it's not really a. Okay, I might accept that. I think that is fine, but I think we have like a list of dates. Yeah. We store a list of dates. Although I'm pretty hands-on right now in the domain data. Unfortunately, that was a no too. Let's see if Smart Gemini can figure this out. Let's see. Initialize I store in the background TS and add the listener, so when we visit websites and they are part of our track websites, we save the year, month, and day. This is the Smart Gemini. Okay, Smart Gemini seems to have a better idea of what he's doing, but he still kind of got rid of the define background because that's where this is supposed to be. So this is not good. What is initializing store? Okay. Browser tabs unupdated. Which is fair enough. I'm not sure we need so much information though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this a failing grade here. And what he wrote is not terrible, but so one thing we can try to do is just save that across and wrap everything and export default. I maybe try to work on this crap, but this might be yeah, if you don't need it, don't import it. I'll just save it. Yeah, it's just gonna, yeah, if it caused a bunch of errors. Initializing store is a good idea. I guess calling a function for it. Yeah, but what calling of storage? VXT storage? Oh, that's wrong. Also, person speaking, that comment should be at the start. So one thing we can do is Chrome .storage .sync .get. Okay. And we can try to get the store information, I guess. Because that's gonna be it. And this would have been the right answer. I'm pulling this from another project. So extension installed, and we're getting, I guess we can just get an array of store because we saved it out. We're gonna be storing these domains as strike domains. The problem is if you don't know this, then neither fast or smart Gemini would have helped. So, this is a big jump. I would say that Gemini kind of failed at just trying to do the whole thing on its own, but we're gonna go into a post-project analysis because I actually delivered. I completed the entire project, and let's just go over it. It's not that complex. So we got the VXT config here. We need to set this up for everything to work, but this is pretty much the default. I added some pictures, And basically the three files that we need to pay attention to is the background TS, or app, and the settings. So in the background TS, I'll just go to the top. So yeah, we got some types. We calculate the delay, because the project spec is, as it currently stands, is that based on how many times the user visited, how many days the user visited undesirable websites, the longer the delay, but not just delay, but redirect toward a more productive website. So we are calculating that, and is visited today. That kind of gives a simplification here. We are initializing an extension with multiplier 1, base delay of 5. Let's just go down. We're kind of checking if Chrome is running. And this is going to be a set interval based on which we are redirecting. If we didn't have that, the project would have been a lot simpler. And unfortunately, we don't even get to test this that much, because you would need to just get the stats. You would need to go to existing website and just kind of experience higher and higher delay because of that. So essentially, we are redirecting to another site, assuming that they just keep going to undesirable sites. So Chrome web navigation, yes. Yeah, before we go to the website, if we are going to a website that is kind of specified as the user as undesirable, then we are going to redirect to a website that the user specified as productive. And for X time, the user is going to be staring at that. Like, this could be their Kanban board or calendar. And by default, I'm using the Google Calendar here. Okay. There's a lot going on here. We are both using local storage and Chrome Sync Store. We also need to save the hostname on the backend, because if you try to get the hostname on, well, in the extension, then we actually get some kind of extension idea, so that's not gonna work out. And of course, we are listening to hostname changes. Yeah, we are sending messages both to local and sync. And these messages are received in the app. Let's go to the app. And the settings, I suppose. So in the app, we don't have that much. We have a add site button and a take away site button, essentially. And essentially, early on, we get the user's stuff, or just the default stuff. And when the state updates, we do the same. And apart from that, we got settings, which is just how the user tweaks their options, which is gonna be a list of options. It's a bunch of inputs. I guess I could have broken it up, but it doesn't really matter. Over here too, we are listening to messages, and in this case, the update state message. So essentially, all we are doing is that we just set fields and update the sync store with the new state. And when the new state or the state changes, we listen to that state change and we get the new information. And that is it. Nothing else is being used, but let's just see how it works. So we got the extension here. Okay, this is how it looks. We can also listen to the backend by opening up the extension. We can see that the background script is well started. This doesn't matter that much right now. So, for example, we can go to Wikipedia, right? Reject. We can add sites manually too, but if we have Google, we can just navigate to Wikipedia, and then we can add Wikipedia as one of the track sites. And now, if we navigate to Wikipedia, or reload it in this case, then we are gonna experience the 5-second base delay, where we're gonna be redirected to the calendar, Google Calendar, and we're not using the days to allow here. If we set like 5 days to allow out of 30, then 5 days out of the last 30 days will not count, and you will not be redirected at all. Even the base delay won't matter. And the delay multiplier is just the more days you visited that site that you don't want to be visiting, the longer delay you will be experiencing. Now, I don't have a gripe against Wikipedia here. I'm just using it because I actually have a high opinion of it. It's one of the solid sites. So let's just see. We reload Wikipedia here, and we are redirecting to Google Calendar. Of course, this is in test mode, and only 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, we are redirecting back to Wikipedia. Of course, what you would want is some kind of just have a full calendar or a Kanban board, and like, oh my god, you look at that and you realize that you're not making progress toward that thing. And also, most importantly, the more time you spend on these sites, the longer and longer they're gonna be loading, which is gonna be discouraging it. I think people kind of underestimate how the speed plays a crucial factor, because if you could check out these dumb sites, but you had to, like, travel 1 hour by foot, you would not. And of course, the goal is that you get to like it less and less. But this is just about the project. I thought it would be cool. Yep, let's circle back to Gemini. So, what Gemini could do. I already shown that Gemini doesn't seem to understand extension development that much, and especially not VXT. Gemini does seem fairly capable, just as capable as Claude, at writing TypeScript that is not related to extension development and TSX, so it's good at React and presumably Next.js. Also good at styling. This actually just goes to show that, yeah, you might see on the benchmark that, they get like 70 points for coding, or like 57 points for coding, but it does kind of matter what kind of information that they were subjected to. Getting free help from Gemini 1206 and Gemini 2.0 Flash, I guess it's very helpful. But also, possibly a hidden star of the show was Gemini 1206, just a chat version. As far as I can tell, you can just use this endlessly, and it is pretty good. So that is it. That is my Gemini adventure, and my adventure of building some kind of a productivity tool. Albeit worth saying that Claude is not faultless either. He's also kind of struggling with extensions and especially VXT, but he seemed to be more capable of figuring it out in this case. Also, Gemini Fast is kind of useful, because if you ask questions from Claude, you're probably not going to get an answer for like, you might be looking at like a 2 minute, 2 or 3 minutes per question, right? And this is kind of true for Gemini Smart too. But Gemini Fast, assuming you want to do something that Gemini Fast can know how well to do, then Gemini Fast is clearly the best choice, because you can move fast. Anyhow, that's it. Maybe we will try something more fitting with Gemini next. But this was a good challenge.